It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
Hey guys, how is it going? And welcome to the Morning Star Drive on 117.8. It is Wednesday, October 22nd, and so happy for you joining us. We are ready to start another day together with the Lord. So subscribe to us on YouTube, do not follow us on SoundCloud, and make sure to support us on Patreon. So today we have an exciting podcast for you. We have the world news, the evangelism word study, and of course commentaries, updates, and news on what is happening around the world in this history today. All right, everyone, how are you doing? It's a wonderful and awesome Wednesday. We're already in the midweek. We have a Wednesday service tonight. I hope you guys will be enjoying and having an amazing service. Don't forget, we have Q&A Thursday tomorrow and every single week, so get those questions ready. Send them to me whenever you can. And if you haven't yet, please leave a like and comment to build our community. Just super happy for everyone joining us every weekday on the Morning Star Drive. So let's get up and support each other each and every day. This week's Sunday message title is, Your Destiny is Determined by a Set Purpose. Amen. So it is Wednesday, guys, and for those of you guys who don't know, in about 1 week, I will be leaving Korea. It's pretty crazy, guys, but yeah, I'm kind of transitioning into I'm transitioning into a new role, right? So I will be heading to a new country next week, and I'm basically going to be focusing 100% of my time and everything on full-time ministry. And for those of you guys who don't know, like, that is the thing that kind of like keeps, have you guys, what's that thing? It's like a passion of mine. It's like not even a passion project. It's something that I grew up on. It's something that I love. It's something that I want to do. It's something that wakes me up in the morning. I'm like, yes, this is something I really need to do. And, and guys, obviously I've talked about this on my podcast many times in the past too. Like, like even lecturing on Zoom is like probably the highlight of my week, and I'm doing it twice a week now. But what's going to happen is I will be transitioning out of my IMD director role, and I'll be going into full-time ministry, and already have a place that I will be going next week. So I am super excited, super happy, and super everything. So I am going to be getting myself ready to get out and really start, like going out there and kind of getting in the front lines. Gonna go out, go into the campus, gonna meet people, gonna talk to them, gonna evangelize, going to lecture. Like, I'm gonna do everything possible, everything I can, so that I can really get myself back into the evangelism mode. And I would say, actually, because of my Zoom Bible studies I'm doing, like, that's been one of the things that's kind of like, it's kind of pushing me. Like, it prepared me, or it got my mind in that right place. Like, oh, this is what I really want to do. So I am going to be getting out of the office, right? And I'm going to be going into the streets. And soon, within a week, I think you'll be able to see which country I'm actually going to be in at that moment. But I am super duper awesome, excited, and looking forward to doing some like full-time ministry. Now, one of the things I do think is very important, and I'll tell you, like, one of the reasons why I do think it's really, really important, especially right now at this time, I do think leadership and people who are leading and guiding churches, that's something that's obviously that is super important. Your leadership is a very, very important part of your church. But another thing that I think that what could happen, and what I do see happening over the last 3 to 4 years because of the pandemic and because of what happened 2023, there's all these things that have happened. And it has caused, it has created this environment or this situation where we are no longer, like, our churches aren't growing anymore. Growing, I'm not talking about internal growth, like people growing in faith, growing in prayer and stuff like that too. More about like the actual external growth, meaning, is your church growing physically? Like, are your churches, are we evangelizing? Are more and more people coming to church? Are we growing where there's newcomers in the church? Where, it's really exciting, because one of the things that sometimes said is, when you look at a newcomer that comes to church, and you all of a sudden you have like a flood of 4, 5, 6, 10 newcomers coming to church, it's like having a newborn baby come into the church. You know what I mean? Like, when you have a family and it begins to grow, everyone is happy and excited. And, whether you're even the parents will look at the baby and they want to change, they want to eat better, they want to treat this person better, they're going to become more responsible. All these things happen because of a new life in your physical family. And in the same way too, when we see these young newcomers, like these new people come into the church, and if they flood into the church feels it. If the church doesn't evangelize, it like hope kind of dissipates. You don't have as much hope as you did before because it's like everything's still the same. Why is it still the same? Why is it like this? Why is it like that? And it's really, really interesting because you'll see that when there's no growth, people start to lose strength. People start to lose hope. People even start to lose joy at a certain point. Like, man, what's going on? Putting in so much effort, but there's no fruit coming out of it. So one of the things I thought that's really, really important, and I would say even for myself, like I would say that, you know what? Evangelism, of course, evangelism is something that we need to do for the rest of our lives, but I'm thinking like, you know what? For the next minimum 2 years, like maybe 2 to 3 years, like I want to be on the front lines and I want to kind of fulfill this dream for Sunsunny, right? And of course, it means that if I run full-time ministry, it means I'll have more time to do my YouTube. I have more time to do not just YouTube, going out in the streets, lecturing, doing Zoom Bible studies, even for the Bible studies I'm doing here in Korea too, right? Like I'm doing Bible studies right now in Korea. But the good thing about this is if I'm running full-time ministry, I can actually do those Zoom Bible studies no problem, like zero problem. Because if I go to if I'm going to a new country and the time zone and, Korea is at like the most eastern part, which means I'm going to be going backwards in time, which means all of the things that I'm going to, like all the time zone I'm going to be working with, my 8 p.m. Korean, excuse me, if it's 8 p.m. in Korea, it's going to be like after lunch, which is actually not too bad for me. So for me, I am excited. I am happy. And I am very, very grateful and thankful. And, I did IMD director for like 15 months, which for me is like, well, it's quite a short time for a mission. But I would have to say that it was so eye-opening for me being in IMD because most of the time, we're always looking from the bottom up. And a lot of times, complaints will come from our mouths. Like, why is IMD like this? Why is IMD like that? Hey, why can't IMD help with this? Why can't IMD help with that? Like, I have conversations with friends, and they're like going, man, IMD should be doing this, 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 and this, and this, and this. But later, now that I'm in IMD, I kind of know the scope of my role. And I'm very confident, like, no, we're not supposed to do that. No, that's not our job. No, we're not supposed to do that. Like, of course, one of the things I would say is the one thing about IMD that's very what do you call it? That's kind of misdirected, misdirection, not deception, but just the fact we're called International Missions Department. We don't really have anything to do with missions. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the name. And I'm sure no one really has expectation for missions because, it's been around forever. And I don't think it's been so rare since anyone has done missions from IMD. It's just too small. Small group of people like controlling all the different countries, this and that, right? I understand this completely, right? And now I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of like the name doesn't really fit. It should be like International Management Department or something like that, more than the missions department. But that would be the only thing that's a little bit confusing, but it's been around so long, no one has any expectation that there's going to be ministry coming out of IMD. Like no one has that expectation at all kind of thing, right? So even when I look at this, I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But overall, it's even like the Western countries, think about it. It was only two of us doing all of the Western countries, and you can't afford someone to be just missing. You just can't afford it. You know what I mean? So all the things that I've seen, I get to see a really, really big picture of the Western countries. I get to see why things are the way they are. And I'm going to be just as frank as possible. A lot of the reasons why, when people it's like, oh, we don't have many leaders and we don't have this, and what about this? What about training? What about, there's all these things that come out, right? And there's only, I think I only have one answer. The only answer I can give is we are still in the growing stages of, like, Western province is all still in growing stages. Like, it's seriously just growing stages. What does that mean? It basically means that everyone, like most countries, are too small. Think about it. You have churches in Japan, Taiwan, and Korea that are larger than the entire Western province. Tell me how crazy that sounds, that there is one church in each of those countries that are going to be larger than all of Western Providence, right? Now, if we had all 1,000 some odd people in the same church, then we wouldn't have any problems with like people running, obviously, right? Because they're all in one church. But imagine taking those 1,000 some odd people and spreading them out among like 14 countries and like 30 churches, which means the largest church you're going to find is going to be where? It's going to be like what? Less than 100 people is going to be the largest church. Like, that's the real situation, right? Very, very young still, very in the growing stages. And that's going to be one of the most, like the biggest reasons where I know the frustration because I was there too, where it's kind of like, oh man, we've been like this for so long and it's been like this and it's been like this and it's been like this. I've been there before and I have complained. But in the end, when you kind of get to see the big picture, you're like, yeah, this sounds really bad, but it is what it is. What does that mean? It's like, hey, imagine you're in a church with 30 people and you don't have very many leaders stepping up. And the answer is, of course, it is what it is. Meaning, you're not going to have 10 people waiting to be pastors in a church of 30 people. You're just not. You'll never find that in a church of 30 people, right? In a church of 30 people, you might have one, maybe two people who really, really want to do something, maybe, right? And the vast majority of people are going to be in the working force. They're going to be in the family force, right? That's where most of the people are going to be. And we're going to find that, the statistics kind of held true, I've seen in almost all countries, is the amount of people that are actually running in the church is going to be like 10%. 10%. And in a lot of cases, with the situation we're going through right now, a lot of churches won't even have 10%. Like, even if you have 100 people, do you think you'll have 10 people running? And this is not about, woe is us, and this is Providence in the Western countries. It's so lacking. It's not about lacking. It's just we're in a much, much different stage than the other countries. That's just it. We're in a different stage, and that's just the way it is, right? And the only way we're going to get ourselves out of that is what? It's basically evangelism. Evangelism is going to be the thing that needs to happen in the beginning. We just got to grow. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if you're in a pioneering church, like, you're not going to sit there trying to build a structure and an organization when you have, 2 or 3 people in the church. It just doesn't work that way. What do you need to do? You need to grow as fast as possible. Like, people just got to go. We just got to evangelize, got to bring more people, right? That's going to be the thing that's going to change and be like a deciding factor on how we can make history. Do you know what I mean? And what we need to do is we need to recognize that sometimes we're putting so much energy into structure, organization, leaderships, hierarchy, all these are things. We got so much focus into these things, and there's politics and people fighting and arguing, all these things going on, when the number one thing that matters more than anything else is just evangelism. It's just evangelism. There's nothing else but evangelism. Evangelism is going, like, especially for the smaller churches, we will never become mature and will never become like Korea until we evangelize. And this is why I love it when Sunsteam talks about, back in the first half of history, we were just going out campus. We grew a church and it went from 50 people to 150 to 500 to 1,000. We'd have 4 services a day. And these were all things that happened because Sunsteam was out there just evangelizing every single day. Like, that's what was actually happening. And that's something I do think we need to recognize is like, I'm looking at myself like, you know what? That's the thing that's going to matter, right? That's the thing that's going to be the biggest thing. Like, we just got to evangelize. And, we need to kind of, if anything that we need to leave behind for the future generations, it's evangelism. That's what's going to leave the legacy. The legacy is when the church is like, while Sunseam is living, we have grown these churches. We have done this. We have done that. We have done well in this area and that area. That's the thing that's going to matter more than anything else, right? That's the thing that's going to make God happy. That's the thing that's like, it's preaching the gospel. It's saving lives, right? And I do think we need to change our mindset. And for me, I was like going, like evangelism, that word has been used so much in Providence that it becomes like a term for some type of work. It feels like it's a work thing. Oh, we need to work. What does that mean? To evangelize. Oh, we gotta work. We basically have to evangelize. To me, evangelize has turned into a term that's more about work, which I think could sometimes be seen in a negative light. What I would say is, it's kind of, we got to go back to the old school. What do we have to do, guys? What are we actually doing? We're giving salvation, which means we are saving lives from death. Like, that is something that I look at and I'm like, that's important. We got to save people, right? How many lives were saved, right? We're more into, hey, how many were evangelized? Did you evangelize? No. How many lives were saved? And even for me, I think what's even more important is, well, I think this is, I don't know. I just don't see it as important as we kind of make it. Like, it is important. It is important. But I would even say that I would even get rid of like this, like, I wouldn't make it an open thing like, oh, we are, who saved the most people? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what's caused a lot of fights, and that's what caused a lot of things to happen. When I would say that, just give it to the church. Let the church get it, and then the church can decide what they do with with what happens, right? We have got to save people from death, right? Because when you start thinking about saving people from death, we're going to realize once again how bad hell really is. Like, what does it mean to really die spiritually? That's something, if we really, really recognize deep inside our hearts, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, we don't want anyone to die. And if we start to realize more about what true death is, it'll actually even stop ourselves from sinning. It'll stop us from going, doing those bad things too. And I think it's something that we have to recognize for ourselves and understand. It's like, hey, what are we going to do? We need to save lives, right? Not evangelize. We need to save lives, save them from death. Then it becomes more urgent where it's like, I don't want you to die. Think about, you're talking to your parents, talking to your family, talking to the people you love. You don't want people to die. You want to save them. And you would do anything to save your family or the people that you love, right? So I was really thinking about this, like, yeah, right now, the biggest thing that we need to really do right now is to evangelize. And personally, for myself, for the skill set that I have, it's basically, because I'm a crazy extrovert, it's meeting people and lecturing. Like, those are the two things are my solid things. And if anything else, I definitely need people to help with management. Like, that's not my forte. My forte is not management, for sure, right? If there's one thing that I lack when it comes to like what is really necessary for management, I would say is empathy. I'm just not as empathetic as other people. And the people who are way more empathetic, man, they can feel what others feel. They're able to take care of them. They're able to understand them a lot better. For me, I can understand. It's just that I don't have as much feeling. And that's why for me, and on top of it being a guy, logic and reasoning are way more important to me. Right? Making the right decision, not emotionally, but doing it in the right way, kind of thing. And that's something that I look at and say, yeah, I think that's really, really important, because especially as a leader, you don't want to make emotional decisions, right? You don't want to make a decision because it's like, oh my God, gosh, I can't believe this. No, you gotta take a step back, and you have to be very reasonable and not be emotional in it, right? So for me, it's just like, oh, I know what my strengths are, I know what my weaknesses are, and I know what I really, really need to do. And if I can't do it, that's where a lot of problems are going to come out with me. I'm going to have those problems if I start to try to do things that are kind of not in my wheelhouse, kind of thing, right? And I think because I know what my skill set is, I know what's going to fit me more. Is it better for me to be out there meeting people, talking and lecturing? Or is it better for me to be kind of like doing admin work, right? It's a huge difference for someone like me, right? And I'm thinking like, you know what? I think, this sounds weird though, I think I should be able to do like this evangelism, lecturing, all this kind of stuff until I'm like past my 60s. That's my feeling, which is like, we're talking, it's not even that long if you think about it, guys, because that's going to be like 13 years before I hit 60. Tell me how crazy that is, that in 13 years, I'm going to be 60 years old. That's crazy. That is so crazy to the point it makes me feel like I'm crazy. Like, I'm going to be 60 in 13 years old. That is nuts. But I think this is what's necessary right now. Right now, leaving the legacy behind for the future is lives. All the other stuff, it's becomes more and more necessary the more we grow, right? Some countries don't even need an HQ. Why? Because it's one church and what? Less than 10 people. Do you really need an HQ? No. Do you, in a church of 7, 8 people, do you really need an assistant leader? Probably not, right? When you look at Korea, you have these churches that are over 2,000 people. There's like 2 head leaders and 3 assistant leaders. But for us, we'd be like, man, some churches don't even have that many people in it, right? And this is, for me, is like, yeah, this is kind of the time for me to push forward, to move forward. Opportunity came, and it's like, this is God's, like, for me, it's like God's will showed, like, it kind of opened up. I'm like, oh, all right, this is my chance. And I think that at this current time, for me, what is most necessary and most needed is actually going to be evangelism. Like I don't even, like, even for me in my head, is like for the next 2-3 years, I don't even need a mission. I don't even need that. I'm just gonna go head first and evangelize as much as I can. I look at all these people on YouTube too now. There's a ton of Christian YouTubers on campus talking to people, asking them what they think about God, asking about, like, I see a ton of this stuff. I'm like, wow, like, people have courage now and they're willing to go out. Like, even for me, one of the first things I'm gonna do, besides going on campus and evangelizing, I'm going to be going, I'm going to be going on campus, going to the Christian clubs, showing them my YouTube channel and saying, hey, if you guys need a speaker, I am here visiting for 1 month. And if you need a speaker, please let me know. And I will speak at your Christian groups and this and that too. So just let me know, kind of thing, right? And like, that's something I'm going to do. Like, once I find out the university that I'm going to be visiting, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out these places. I'm going to email them. I'm going to find out, hey, what, Christian clubs, hey, this is my YouTube channel. This is this, and this. Just want to let you know that I'm going to be in this country in this month. If you have any, like, if you need anyone to testify, give a talk, do something to do evangelism with, I am there, kind of thing, right? Just reaching out and meeting a ton of people, So, like, this is something I do think this is going to be a big thing, and for myself, and like, this is kind of like the direction I'm going to be taking, and I am very excited and very, very happy about it, right? I was kind of looking at, when I was talking about how evangelism, changes so many things in a church. I was actually looking at, I was thinking about, you guys know about the Dead Sea, right? And do you know why the Dead Sea is the Dead Sea? And it's because it's got so much salt in it, because water goes into the Dead Sea, but nothing goes out. So basically all the water that evaporates leaves its salt behind, and it just keeps getting saltier and saltier, and no life, not even fish, nothing can live in the Dead Sea. That's why it's called the Dead Sea. Nothing lives in it. It's all minerals and salt, which is great, because Dead Sea, it's good for your skin and skin properties and that kind of stuff. But there's no life in it. And for me, is evangelism is kind of that outlet where the water has an outlet to go to, so it can keep refreshing, right? It allows the water to flow, remain fresh, and for life to happen. And when evangelism is not working, then it closes that outlet, right? So basically, only water comes in, it evaporates and leaves all the salt and minerals behind, and then it becomes dead. And that's what happens to a church, right? The church needs an outlet. It needs, with all the effort that's being put in, all the energy and money and time and all these things that are being put in for evangelism, it is so necessary for it to actually happen, for there to be an outlet, meaning there needs to be something that's like a result that comes from it. And when that result comes out, this is when the church begins to be refreshed, right? When we don't have evangelism, people lose hope, people lose joy, right? When you have newcomers, you feel excited. You feel like you want to do better. You get energized. You want to run more. You feel the power of like new lives, that new energy. People start doing better in their faith too. And, I think that's one of the biggest things that needs to happen right now, which is evangelism. It's such a big thing right now. So I am hoping that with this new transition I'm making, which basically means I'm not gonna be in Korea very often. I'm gonna be in the foreign countries, and I'm just going to be evangelizing, right? And that's where I want to be. That's the front lines. Whether it's lecturing, whether it's meeting people, all these things, just want to evangelize. I just want to be in that position. So it is quite exciting, and it's so fast, guys. I'm leaving by next Tuesday, pretty much. That's how fast things are moving. And I think it has to move that fast, right? So even yesterday's when I gave my official announcement, hey guys, I'm transitioning out of IMD director, doing this, and this. I'm going straight to evangelism. That's where my heart is. That's what I really, really want to do. That's what I'm going to do, kind of thing, right? So it is quite interesting. And it is something that I looked at and I'm like, I have been talking about this for a while, but more than all the other things in my mind, I'm just like, this I feel is the thing that I can really, really do and contribute to this history in the most impactful way. So yeah, pretty crazy, right, guys? Pretty crazy, but it is something I am going to do. And I'm looking forward to just, working with other countries, working together and meeting tons of people and evangelizing and lecturing as many as I can. All right. Either way. So yeah, that was kind of like the big thing I just wanted to kind of talk about here in this first segment. If you have any questions or anything else, go ahead and put in the comments below. Love to hear from you guys too. But, like I said, I'm going to have more time for ministry. I'm not going to stop MSD. I'm not going to stop the Rebel Pastor. Those are things I'm going to constantly be doing anyways. But I'm hoping that now I can really, really put tons of time and energy into evangelism, which is something I really, really want to do. Okay. Either way. So, before we get into the evangelism word study, let's move into the first music break of the day.
It's 1978. This feeling is so great. The word you preach amazes me. But why do I feel this fate? Ooh. never get old like the first time we've been together. As long as you don't lose this love, that love will last forever. And as much as I know you're the best thing in my life, I will always tell you that I love you every time. It's 1978. This feeling is so great. The word you preach amazes me. Why do I feel this fate? Oh, it's 1978. This feeling is so great. The word you preach amazes me. Why do I feel this fate? Oh, people believe in their fantasies but not God, and that's the problem. That's why they say that it's too hard. No matter how blazing your love may be, our meetings and conversations are the same, you see. You can't let this love go to waste, doing the same things day to day. We're at the same place. Let's speak with hope about new things and the things you have done. I want to get closer to you, I want to give you my love. If you do not enjoy this love, it will disappear. When your thoughts are hard changes, he will take away your blessing. Gotta find your form, find your mission, and just find your blessings. Let's just get back to the old days and find out the temptation. I wanna get to know you, I want to show you that I can give you the word in many places, many spaces. I have seen a lot of people come and go. You're gonna make it, do your absolute best to reach the final destination. Yeah, it's 1978. This feeling is so great. The word you preach amazes me. Why do I feel this fate? Oh, it's 1978. This feeling is so great. The word you preach amazes me. Why do I feel this fate? Oh, can I get to know you? I just wanna know you. Can I get to know you? I just wanna know you. Can I get to know you? I just wanna know you. Can I get to know you? I just wanna know you.
All right, so let's get into today's evangelism word study. And now that as you heard in the first segment, that I will be going into full-time ministry, I realized one thing is, I actually thought to myself about my YouTube channel, like the Rebel Pastor, and it's not growing as much as I want it to. It's like at 6,000, like 6,600, 6,700. It's around there. which is still a lot, right? It's not like it's nothing, and it's not like it's kind of like in that middle stage. And one of the things I thought to myself is like, oh, I'm like, should I be focusing more on my YouTube and then try to get it up to like a certain amount of followers or this and that? And eventually, I realized that it's reached a certain point where it's not so like small. And it's something I thought to myself is like, I think I need to start leveraging it, which means that it's exactly what I was kind of saying in the first segment is I need to kind of like, when I go to campuses, when I go to other places, I can kind of send that as my, what do you call it? I'll send it as my resume kind of thing. It'll be my resume. And I can like tell people like, hey, this is the YouTube channel that I'm doing. It is a Christian channel. I am a pastor and I am doing, this is what I'm doing. And if you would like me to speak at your events, that would be something that I would really, really like to do, And I was thinking about that a lot. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I think this is like, I really need to start leveraging what I've done over the past 5 years. And, I haven't done it that for the probably for over a year and a half now, it hasn't been so, I would say for even almost 2 years, it hasn't been super focused on like I did when I started in the very beginning for the first like 3-4 years. But I do think now I'm going to just have to start leveraging it and saying, hey, this is what I do. And I would love to speak at your Christian club or this or that. So that is something that I do want to start as one of the things that I want to do, speaking at different Christian clubs. That's one of the things I want to do. Another thing I do want to do to leverage my YouTube channel is, now that I have this YouTube channel, I can make more content, right? Making content basically means that I can go on campus and kind of film myself talking to students and seeing what they're doing and talking to them and getting them more involved or asking them the difficult questions like the 30 lessons will actually answer. So I'm thinking that's another way I can leverage too. And nowadays kids are really into social media. And because they're into social media, I think it's a little bit easier for to do these types of things on campus also, because kids kind of like that type of thing. They want to be seen on channels. They want to be seen on social media and stuff like that too. So I do think that's another thing that would be kind of interesting and cool to leverage also. So now I'm thinking like, hey, I've gotten my YouTube channel up to a certain point, and I think the best thing I could do now is just leverage it as much as I can, especially for this Gen Z generation. I know the older people are not going to be into this recording and being on social media, but the one thing I do think that the younger generation would love to be on this type of thing like that too. So that's kind of one of the things that I was thinking about. And one of the ways that I do want to leverage it, and that's something that I'm going to try out. So, next week I'm going to be going over there, and that's going to be more of the physical things. But of course, everything I'm learning about revivals and such, it requires like a lot of prayer. And I think that, there's kind of that loading phase of prayer that I got to do now to prepare myself to go and start evangelizing, and really get the people there to start really praying and evangelizing well too. And I think that's going to be something that's going to be really, really big also. So those are kind of the things that I was looking at. And I'm not sure what you guys are thinking, but I think now that this channel somewhat at a certain point, I do think it can really be something I can leverage to use for wherever I go anywhere in the world. So that's kind of what I'm going to do for evangelism. Hopefully you guys have some things that you're thinking about also. And I'm hoping to really, really see evangelism happen in a very, very big way in the future too. But that's kind of one of the plans that I have right now for evangelism. Tell me what your thoughts are, what you think, what kind of content I can put up as I record students and stuff like that too. And guys, if you're a little bit older, you're probably going to think that, oh, this is not something that students want. But if you're younger, like the Gen Z, I'm thinking that they want to be on camera and stuff like that too. So that is something that I am going to try when I go to different countries and stuff like that also. Either way. So that's kind of like my thoughts on evangelism right now. And a little bit short, but it's something that there's some ideas that I have in my head of what I want to do. Either way, I do have the world news coming up next. But before that, let's get into the last music break of the day.
To live with God in my heart. The tears you shed pray all night long. Your love and light at the break of dawn. The days when you were gone. Your words stay here in my heart. I'll hold on to you tightly, Lord. Your word is your love, I'm not alone. Now even if this dark world is frightening, wind and waves and thunders crashing, no matter what, our love will not change. You're with me and I'm with you. I will always, always love you, no matter if the world forsakes you. From all the love and miracles through you, I've witnessed the truth. I'll fly high with you. I will never, never leave you, no matter if the world forsakes you. With all the love and blessings from you, I'll never forget all that you've done for me. be strong, to live with God in my heart. I will not waver to wrong thoughts. I'll stay right here where I belong. You suffered all along. Your wounds lie deep in my heart. We'll guard you, Lord, till your pain's gone. We'll comfort you, so lie in our arms. Now even if this dark world is frightening, wind and waves and thunders crashing, no matter what, our love will not change. You're with me and I'm with you. I will always, always love you, no matter if the world forsakes you. Your love for God burns so brightly. Rise out of ashes, your light will set me free. I'll never leave you, no matter if the world forsakes you. With all the love and blessings from you, I'll never forget all that you've done for me.
Okay, so let's get into today's world news. What are the top three news going on around the world right now at this time? And there's a couple things that I think is very, very significant. One of the first is probably the most significant thing that I've seen in the news right now, which is in Japan, where they make history as the first female prime minister has been elected. Her name is Sanae Takaichi. Okay, Sanae Takaichi. She's been elected Japanese prime minister by parliament, making her the first woman to hold the office. 64-year-old won a clear majority on Tuesday with 237 votes in the powerful lower house and another 125 in the upper house as leader of the ruling LDP, the Liberal Democratic Party. Very staunch conservative and admirer of the late former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Takaichi takes over at a challenging economic moment as Japan grapples with rising cost of living and a frustrated public. And it's also been an uncertain time for the world's fourth largest economy, and she's the fourth prime minister in just 5 years after her predecessor's terms were cut short by plunging ratings and scandals, right? So although she defeated 4 men to win the LDP race in early October, her path to the top job appeared to be blocked when the LDP's longtime coalition partner, the Komeito Party, withdrew support. But a last-minute deal with another opposition party, the right-leaning Japanese Innovation Party, the JIP, known as Ishin, saved her. So she and the LDP will face votes next in 2028, which is quite exciting for Japan. I'm not sure what the Japanese actually think of her. So if you are a listener to MSD, and I would love to know what your thoughts are on this new prime minister, the fourth in 5 years kind of thing. So please let me know about this. In other news in Europe, there is an ex-president, Sarkozy. He actually gets sentenced to jail for campaign finance conspiracy. So Nicolas Sarkozy has become the first French ex-president to go to jail as he starts a 5-year sentence for conspiring to fund his election campaign with money from late Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi. So not since World War II, Nazi collaborationist leader Philippe Pétain was jailed for treason in 1945 has any French ex-leader gone behind bars. Sarkozy, who was president from 2007 to 2012, has appealed against his jail term at La Santé prison, where he will occupy a small cell in the jail's isolation wing. More than 100 people applauded and shouted Nicolas as he left his villa in the exclusive 16th district of Paris, holding his wife by the hand. So very, very interesting how you'll have an ex-president, interestingly, going to prison for a crime. Last but not least, this is kind of good news when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war, as Zelensky the president of Ukraine, is ready to join the Trump-Putin talks after a meeting with the White House. So Zelensky has said he would be ready to join Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin at a proposed summit in Hungary if he were invited. The U.S. and Russian presidents announced after their phone call on Thursday that they plan to hold talks on the war in Ukraine in Budapest, possibly in the coming weeks. On Monday, Zelensky told reporters, if there's an invitation in a format where we meet as three, or as it's called, shuttle diplomacy, then in one format or another, they will agree. So meanwhile, media reports suggest his White House meeting with Trump on Friday descended into a shouting match, with the U.S. side urging Ukraine to accept Russia's terms to end the war. Zelensky was guarded during his first press briefing since the talks, but still his comments made clear that there were large areas of disagreement between the two sides. He described the meeting as frank and said he had told Trump that his main aim was just peace, not a quick peace, right? So this could be another good sign, too, that there could be peace coming in, not only just in Gaza, but there could be peace coming in also with Ukraine and Russia, which is something that I'm sure all of us truly, truly want at this time also. Okay? Either way, there it is, guys. That is some of the top 3 news going on around the world right now. If there's anything else you want me to report about, go ahead, put it in the comments below. Love to hear about that too. Okay? So there it is, guys. That's the Wednesday podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoy your Wednesday service tonight, and we'll see you guys again next week. Not next week, sorry. Tomorrow, which is Q&A Thursday, on the Morning Star Drive on 117.8.
It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and feel your mind.
I'm burning with desire and the passion. Nobody can